Less than 24 hours to go for the big consecration ceremony at Ayodhya where I am, and I am in fact inside the temple premises. With me, someone who has seen each and every aspect of the temple construction, chairman of the temple committee, Nripendra Misra. Nripendra ji, thank you so much for speaking to NDTV. I have been trying for this interview for months. Finally, you have agreed, and what better time, 24 hours to go. What will happen in the next 24 hours, sir?
Well, next 24 hours we'll all be very busy in ensuring that the Lord who is already there, the ceremonies are being performed, the religious ceremonies are being performed, and very soon, in few hours, we'll have the idol which is there in the temporary temple. That idol will also move into the new temple in Garbhagriha. So you will now have a standing murti of Lord Ram Lalla, and also the murti of 1947 when it appeared, and people believe that it suddenly appeared there. So both the murti will be there at the Singhasan.
Okay. And so how will that movement of the murti happen, the old one?
I suppose the priests and others, which the trust obviously has not yet clearly defined, they will take the old Lord Ram Lalla, who is of this size, and a very, very young Ram Lalla, who will then be taken by the priests and others into the new temple.
Okay, so now we can see the beautiful Ram temple right in front of us. Help us understand, sir, what are these various structures that we are seeing?
Yeah, this is very important. The devotee will be coming from this direction, right? And he will now move right here and enter into Parkota. This is the outer wall.
You can walk, sir.
Yeah, that is the Parkota.
Okay, sir.
He will move to the central dome of Parkota. Now you have to recognize that this Parkota goes round the temple. The length of this Parkota is 795 meters, and it has 6 temples inside the Parkota. This in some ways also is a parikrama for the devotee. It's the parikrama, the first parikrama for the temple is the Parkota. And from Parkota, the devotee gets down, reaches the plaza of the temple, and then climbs 32 stairs, and then reaches his dream, the dream of entering into the temple. The dream which has been sort of not getting addressed for the last 500 years. He will now have the darshan of the Lord, and he first enters, the first dome that you see is the Nritya Mandap.
Okay.
The second dome, and this is, you are just walking.
Okay.
The second dome is the Rang Mandap. The third dome is the Guru Mandap. On the two sides are the other two mandaps. One is Prarthana Mandap, which you can see. The other is the Nritya Mandap. That is why we say that right in front of Garbhagriha, there are 5 mandaps in the temple, and the total length of the temple from Garbhagriha to the first stair point is roughly about 400 feet.
And no steel has been used?
Oh yes, of course. No steel. The technology, both in terms of what you would like to believe, which was used earlier for the temples, and which is now the most modern. That technology has been used. Not many people know that there are various sensors, electronic sensors, which are embedded in the foundation. So the movement of anything which is happening, be it the stone or any other movement which is external in character, like earthquake, that sensor takes account and it just doesn't take account and report. What it does is, it then conveys, has there been any impact on the movement of the stones? And that is what is studied regularly by the presently Larsen and Toubro, and they will continue to do this service for few years on the contract basis and report. Where does the reporting go?
Yes.
The reporting goes to Central Building Research Institute, Roorkee. They study the result of the sensors and then advise what is the strength of the temple.
Mr. Nripendra Misra, this is also your labor of love, one may say. You have spent months here monitoring each and every aspect of it. I want to understand from you, now that you are seeing flowers being put, because this is the temple being readied for the ceremony which will happen tomorrow. The flowers which are coming in from several parts of the world.
In tons.
In tons. What are your thoughts? I mean, who has planned the decoration?
Oh, the decoration has been planned by the people who are in charge of the event, headed by General Secretary Shri Champat Rai ji. So the trust has a General Secretary, trust has a Treasurer Swami Govindev Giri ji, and at least I think 500 volunteers who are helping of various levels, who are helping Champat Rai ji in getting the tomorrow's event successfully concluded.
So 500 volunteers at work right now there. How do you look at the criticism coming in from the Shankaracharyas, who said that temple is half complete and hence rituals should not be performed?
I knew that you were going to ask this question. I'm glad you have. Let me not first comment on Shankaracharya. They are the Dharma Gurus, and I am no one. I am a very small person compared to Shankaracharyas, who are responsible for the observance of Sanatan Dharma. But having said so, I just want to give a message to the nation through this very important channel, that what we had announced was that Ram Lala, the child Ram, will be there in Bhutal, the ground floor. So what was Bhutal? The Bhutal was, it will have a Garbhagriha, it will have 5 mandaps, it will have other iconographies. So that has been completed. What will be there? What is incomplete? That's a good question, right? The incomplete thing is the first floor. And what is first floor? The first floor is Ram Darbar. The first floor is where the Raja Ram comes. He is no more Ram Lala. So that is where so it is literally, you can call it the return of Ram and becoming the king of Ayodhya. That is the first floor, where he sits with Sita. You don't have Ram Lala with Sita because he is a 5-year child. On the first floor you will have Ram, Sita, brothers, and Param Sevak Hanuman. And the second floor is the floor for very high religious observance, what is called Anushthan Yajna. So if the trust approves anything on the second floor, that will be performed on the second floor.